go ahead and bring out your two teams. First squad making the way to the stage. Welcome, KRU Visa.
KRU Visa has been looking insane so far. Undefeated and now trying to get that #1 seed going into playoffs to be one match away from Toronto. You need to pay attention on how they're going to be playing these post runs, these late runs. That's what makes them the best team right now, especially going against EG.
They definitely have ironed out. The execution is going into sites on the attacks as well. How they play the pulse plan, they can play onside, offside, always good for trades. But you also have somebody like Mazzino that just clutches all the time. Shy that clutches all the time. Keston that opens up the sites. They have everything from A to Z to be a complete team and a #1 team in the Americas this split.
Yeah, this is a massive game for them. Win this, you qualify for the playoffs here. But of course, on the other side, their opponents are doing the same thing because if they manage to win this, their playoffs lives stay alive. Let's go ahead and bring out to the stage, Evil Geniuses. And of course, for EG, they get this win here. They get themselves a playoff spot. A big game for them, Vansili. So you know that the pressure is on.
100%. And again, I want to watch this game and hopefully they come out victorious. But if they win or lose, or winning and losing, or losing as a team. And you know what? They won my heart. They continue to win my heart after that segment that we just saw. Ye has an amazing personality and is so thoughtful through the process of drawing things. And now it just makes me think how much he calculates his moves inside the server.
They all forgot Tactibear.
That's a detail. That's a detail, right? You told me to brush off that topic. I brushed off that topic.
One thing that I want to go back to, something that I heard from Potter last year when I was interviewing her, is the players need confidence. And a win here very early on into these maps would be a good chance for them to do so. This is a team that has been building up from last year, from players that have so much experience, and it is a mix between the two. When we get to see the Lotus, so no Haven, as we talk so much about the Wayland.
Well, I think you're still trying to see here from EG's side if they wanted to float that or not, because they actually let that float against Sentinels. They felt that they had the number for Sentinels. They thought they had the number for 100 Thieves as well, but they actually banned it second, which is quite interesting. So they actually wanted to shy away from that one. But seeing here the first map being Lotus and Pearl, it kind of makes sense when both of these teams from KRU and EG ban the best map from each other, right? You're getting rid of Fracture, you're getting rid of Icebox.
Yeah.
I think it just makes sense here in the series.
Yeah, no, the Icebox going away. I was hoping that we would maybe see it, but I don't think anyone wants to touch Mazzino's Harbor and like all that. It's just too good, man. He's too nasty with it. But of course, Evil Geniuses and KRU are jockeying, I think, in this draft, right, for who gets that upper hand. But I still lean more on KRU given the sheer firepower that team possesses.
For sure. KRU has only played this map of Lotus one time, and it was against Sentinels, but that was the day that a lot of people have been saying that was where they looked the strongest. It was very, very cool to see Kesnet on this Euro, what he's able to do on this map, because before we were used to seeing very early on the Jet, then obviously the Raze, and now moving into the Euro, it feels like it sets him up for success. Kesnet is a player that in previous years, he was really struggling with the Operator, and now with this Euro, he's able to kind of mix it up a little bit. He's getting better at it, and I think he has a really, really strong chance.
That's the thing. The look from KRU is totally different this time around looking in 2025, because in the past you're thinking of, okay, double duelist, double dive, let's just not have Kesnet on a Jet or on a Raze trying to get as many kills as possible, trying to off as much as possible. But now his role is just really to try to create a lot more space for his team, because you have now somebody like Shy and Adverso that can help from behind as well. Mazzino going, using great utility to help out around the team too. So I think this is actually looking quite good to see now Kesnet on this Yoru, and been very strong on this agent.
And of course, with these the agent select coming in here, you got Icy on that Raze here. We can see so many different looks with the Duelist Dryad. This obviously nothing too crazy here from both teams.
Yeah, keeping the same composition here on the side of EG that we saw last time when they were playing against 2G. So things should be the same. Pay attention to Nature, though. I feel like he could be the start of this map of Lotus.
Ooh, all right. Well, you heard Dryad, you heard the analyst here. Let's go ahead and get ready with our first matchup of the day. So, all right, Games Arena, let's go ahead and send it over to your casters. You got Brent and Josh on the call.
Thank you very much, gang. Yeah, let's get into it here for map number 1, EG versus KRU. And, you know, the desk has already set this one up as well. There's expectations, I think, from KRU to really be performing quite well. They want a perfect run throughout the groups, but for EG, this is a bit odd. A win here, it locks them into playoffs. The reason I said that's a bit odd is because they're sitting at 1 and 2, Josh.
Yeah.
That's what makes it unusual. Normally, we wouldn't be saying this about a team, but going 2 and 2 with how they performed as well, their win against 2G as well,
the win against
puts them
2G,
ahead in a head-to-head.
Yeah, ends up being really important, capitalizing with that victory early on in stage 1, before 2G really got their legs underneath them. But here we are, time for the Samsung match start. You can load up fast with Samsung SSDs, and we're going to be eyes on to EG early on. Now, there's a bit of a trap play here, a classic one towards B.
Time to jump.
And Ye's staring down the barrel of that. For the rest of the EG composition, it's an unusual look towards Lotus. We've seen them run this before. Feels like a bit of a death ball comp, but it's not got the breach, it's not got the omen. A little bit slower, you could argue, than those kind of compositions that you'll see from Furia, for example.
And the store might be getting opened up here. And here it is, opened wide. Nature just managed to grab the one before eventually the trade comes through, so...
Got to accelerate on the A side here, surely, but they're worried about Shy.
And Shy is lurking off to the side. Icy collects. Decent little kill here for a good opener of EG, but time to convert it one step further. You have the player advantage. Players, though, looking for a bit of a peek and a play to be made. Icy is just about dodged that fault line, tucked to the side. Salvo's up top and over towards the staircase. That's Mazzino. Chunks out of them. KRU is still playing this one steadily, slowly. Mel's is worried about a lurk this entire time, so he hasn't been able to regroup in for this retake.
These are the spots where you expect KRU's individual form to apply a lot of pressure to EG, but they got to hold strong. They got to convert these player advantage situations.
Oh, the timing just about missed, but okay. Controlling with a bit of the pistol spamming away. Melza is going to be meeting his match. 2 EG players. Moves it down to Mazzino on 17 HP. It's very tough. And EG are going to be able to secure up this pistol round. Early on, a good start for Lotus. It's a map as well that KRU's map pick, and KRU have looked fantastic at it as well. So any sort of advantages you can get early on for this EG squad are going to be good.
Certainly the case. This play, a bit of a strange one from Adverso. I think he thought that EG were on a much faster timing. And EG were really slow, really cautious, working their way through tree. Even after picking Shy. Adverso got thrown off, swung through the smoke, and Icy was ready to collect. He was patient, and maybe that's a win condition here for EG. Just baiting KRU into taking some disadvantaged fights. Getting over-aggressive, perhaps. Confidence can be a double-edged sword. But I'm sure we're going to be talking about confidence a lot, because KRU, they've always got it in buckets.
Might be seeing an example of it, but the nade was ready for this one. Still, it's going to be layering down with all sorts of damage and supplementary fire just from Nature onto the side. So, despite losing Icy, decent job to clear away Zeno. He's been marked up though, they're fully aware, and that's where the Caesar's coming through. Nature doing a lot to contain.
Very clean on this round, and once more, kind of baiting KRU into taking some fights where EG were favored. They've got 3 rifles, the Guardian and the Double Bulldog, that they've managed to save into this round. They're allowed 2 deaths. And now very cautiously again, making their way in and cleaning up Shy.
Yeah.
So all of the resistance gone so far, and EG's composition it does have the options to play a little slowly. In fact, it kind of wants to play at a slightly slower tempo to some of the other frantic teams that we see on Lotus. It's just what happens when you have Superman playing the Viper in this comp.
Strong start though. Money relatively intact as well, so EG has got quite a lot of bite coming into this bonus round for them. We'll see if they can convert.
And a lot of attention here over towards Mount, which is where KRU want to dig in just a little bit with Shy and Melza.
Okay. Beautiful opener. Salvo is going to be a little bit late to the party to try and disrupt this one. See Mount Control completely conceded. EG don't really want to fight over much of this after losing IC.
No, that's a really fast timing for Melza to take that engagement. Completely caught IC off guard.
Drone is down.
They're throwing down a smoke there. They're supposed to be using the boom bot as well, I would imagine, to take that space, but KRU turning up the tempo.
This angle is dirty by Adverso as well. Slightest off angle. It's almost anticipated though. Slight peek from Ye. Stays alive for now.
Here's the Viper.
He's spotting multiple of them. And that orb as well. A bit of spray and spam from Kesnet. Dropped down to 50 HP. Slow play by EG. Still have 50 seconds to work with and play with. No map control yet though, but KRU were looking like they wanted to pivot over towards B, almost anticipating he was in that direction, but a refight is called by EG, sending it up through rubble. No contesting yet on the KRU side of things.
EG have got themselves some decent space, but the time on the clock is going to be their biggest issue.
30 seconds, and the fault line is going to be slowing them down even more here. Mazzino just trying to buy time.
30 seconds left.
We're getting these rotations of KRU all the way back in. That door's going to be closing at a moment's notice. You have 25 seconds to work with EG. Time is ticking, and 2 players are trying to hold this one down. They've got to Cemented foothold so far. Kesnith alongside Mazzino. Mazzino already ripping it off, and there's no trade in sight. Moving to wartime, but already 14 seconds time ticking and getting away from you. Listen, it's an hourglass that's running dry. No, watch fly onto the side of the smoke, but snap at a wrist. Superman, time!
He's missed it.
He's missed it. Just didn't know where the spike was, and there it is. Round for KRU. Talked about the danger of it getting away from you.
And what's painful about that is, EG, if they had just been slightly more aggressive, a moment, a fraction, a second quicker, that actually was a winnable spot.
Yeah.
And KRU are doing so much more in these rounds on defense. They're pushing over towards rubble, they're pivoting over towards B. They're constantly moving around the map trying to anticipate the fast reaction from EG. And yet EG are just crawling along. I mean, we've got the tortoise and the hare situation out here.
It really is.
Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be bad for EG because they're playing slowly, but it's not a great sign. Usually, the teams that are making more decisions in the round, making faster-paced decisions, are going to be more proactive, going to find themselves in better spots.
Elza is just soaking up all this util. EG finally choosing to step past this line of smokes that's coming their way. Not just conceding the space over towards C-mount. Ult earned. Nightfall. Door opened up. Feeling like there's a potential for the pivot here.
A nice anticipation on that timing. Superman was just thinking about going forwards there with his Viper wall. And as the wall goes up, Mazzino stuns him off. So EG, they've only got mount control currently.
Smike is still down in spawn. They haven't cleared off these A rubble players. KRU is still holding this one down.
No wall though to bait, it's only these thorns.
Flash gets a connection. KRU are aware there's players loitering around here with a Nightfall. Scatters, spells it out. Nice and easily here. That Salvo's off to the side. Melzer, he couldn't hear anything. Didn't even realize, I suppose, that the Salvos were coming in. I'm not too sure how that happened. And Superman, he's plucked Mazzino straight out of the fight. In through mid, Ye with the plant now as well. And that through that smoke just doubling up through into Waterfall. One left to stand, not for much longer. EG.
What a round!
Yeah.
Where did that one come from? I don't know how Melzer's fallen that easily. But you can see there a little bit of the nerfed Vice setup. They got back through those thorns a little quicker than they otherwise would have done.
Yeah, just...
oh, off the back of a C's as well, I think. Was it?
Might just been a sound cue.
Extremely low.
He had the indicators. He just didn't realize he was getting hit by it.
I mean, that's brutal. But EG playing tight together, swinging off each other, doubling up as they clear through Waterfall. Good discipline. And KRU onto an eco round now. If there was ever a round for EG to be playing cautiously, slowly, it would be this one. You see Nature there, throws the paranoia and try to bait out the trap play. They have a strong suspicion that this one is here. But Mazzino has a lot of patience with the fault line, decides not to spring the trap just yet. And they've always got the opportunity of using salvos and refighting over towards rubble.
Man, that's an opener. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good kill. Melzer dropped.
He's going to be scratching his head about a couple of these deaths.
And KRU are left, I think, questioning in terms of, wait a second, where are these EG guys playing? He said earlier the tortoise and the hare, but okay.
Tap on the door, run away. They are really cautious that KRU are going to be running a trap play, but they haven't triggered it yet. Here it comes.
Yeah, and well, ready for it. It's the firing line, all lined up towards that blue room, and bodies are filling it up, painting it a shade of red.
And I'm impressed. I like the way that EG is playing around here. The calling is really nice. They anticipated a trap play towards B, and then they used 2 waves of trying to trigger out the trap play on rubble too. They're also winning individual fights. I mean, listen, I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think Shy's going to win the 1v5 ace here to be able to win the round. EG should have this one in the bag. And they're starting to build up towards some ultimates here too. This is definitely an attack side that could spiral for EG. This next round is going to be monumental. You got Breach Tail for the defenders. Wow. And Icy up to his Raze ultimate.
And yeah, it was a half buy from KRU. Okay. I'm still going to lay down a little bit of respect, though, for EG, because, like you said, this discipline that's been instilled.
Oh, that's
a nice shot.
Yeah, brutal. That's 2 rounds in a row now that Melzer, like I said, is going to be scratching his head and wondering, wait, how am I dying in these spots?
And Nature just used his always going to be building up soon enough to another one.
Superman has yet to die, by the way. He's 8-0, despite the fact that we've only played 5 rounds. So he's on the Viper, controlling that A rubble line, and he's playing it patiently, safely. but he's also just getting his team into good spots. So big credit to that one. I think KRU are going to find it difficult to punish him because he's just playing a very risk-averse kind of strategy.
Yeah.
And it does feel like the whole game plan for EG is to bait KRU into fights.
Unfavorable fights at that as well. I mean, it's quite apparent. You just look at the scoreboard. I mean, Kesnet, we just saw him on our screens. He's sitting at 0-5 currently. Right at the bottom, it's unusual, to be honest. KRU, I mean, you think about a cornerstone of their style of how they play. It's quite standard. They make good macro calls overall, but a lot of it relies on firepower to try and make the difference.
I think when you watch their defensive rotations, though, they're really used to playing against faster-paced teams.
They are, definitely.
They can't figure out this tempo, and it's really slow from EG.
Maybe that's the timeout is going to be calling out.
Take a look at this wall, actually, that's being thrown by Shy over towards C. It's really far back, so you can't jiggle that, but it could block Icy if he goes for the Raze ultimate over towards C. KRU, though, hoping that they can get a big rubble fight going here.
Could be sending it all in over towards A. It's a TP up top on. Shy needs to be very much careful of this. Drone's going to be fading. Flash in your face to multiple players.
And that's good just to hold off EG and buy time for the rotates. Thorns, one at least, is going to end up getting broken by that.
Yeah, that's the purpose of that salvo. We're seeing what is that? Rolling Thunder committed as well through the doors. It's opened up wide. That's a great seize. Completely stunted any attempt of trying to push this one forwards. And Dimensional Drift, I mean, he's just being tethered. Caught to the corner, still getting the information necessary here, but he offloaded! Where the hell has Icy found that one from? Kesnet, he's getting all the info, but whether or not his team can do anything with it, that is the question. Flash through into the side, and Derek's already cleaned up these stragglers. Superman, what a dodge! Quick snap back.
They've just done it again. They've baited KRU into taking a bad fight on EG's terms. And this one coming in after the tactical timeout. KRU left in a 2v5 trying to hold on. EG haven't had to actually run around yet. They've just held their ground. The Breach ultimate too, I think, caught onto Kesnet and Adverso. So yeah, the seize was good.
30 seconds left. Shy's going to be forced all the way up towards the top there, just from the salvos.
But there's just nothing doing.
No.
I mean, EG in spots like this can just group up, play the numbers. Doesn't matter if on paper the KRU players have slightly better firepower. They're not winning 1v5 situations on either side of the map.
I don't know when to fight straight up.
No, they're not. But they're not taking raw fights as often. I suppose Melza's fight over towards A lobby was a bit of a raw 1v1. But the whole brawl that happened over towards Mound was actually just mistimed and miscoordinated by KRU.
Yeah.
And again, an unnecessary fight. They're taking it early, wanting to get ahead of what EG are doing, not realizing that EG are just chilling for the first minute.
That's super slow.
I think they've got entirely the wrong read on the tempo of this game, and it is biting them. And wow, what a start for EG. They could not have asked for a better beginning here on Lotus. Their opponent's map pick, a map where they looked peak last time we saw them in the victory against Sentinels.
Oh, honestly, it was phenomenal. The way they were working the map, but I think that's what we've been alluding to this entire time about this pace that KRU are trying to play at, how slow EG are absorbing it all. It's a lovely dodge as well.
The firepower coming out from some of these guys.
EG is shooting it back.
Yeah, that was snappy.
But yeah, KRU are just finding it very difficult. When people don't opt into the fast fights, a team like Sentinel is going to be always, trying to make quick decisions. EG, though, letting them stew and simmer. Big fight to be taken again. That Haunt over the top. Slightest of reveals. Jump spot. Don't think you're going to be going for a second go of that one. Fault line.
And they are so aware of these kind of like little trap plays. KRU don't have much weaponry to work with in this round. Kesnet with a hero Vandal. The fight's not coming towards him right now.
The drone's going to be spotting out too there over towards the rubble. Again, stealth drone up through mid. Superman is just on an absolute tear. Tahita, he can't be denied right now. Kesnet finally joining the fight and the action, but just caught out into the open, has to tuck to the side here, and there's no setup for this one. Just trying to take raw gun duels, maybe feeling the pressure to perform.
And Kesnet, he's
TP's
miles
way
out.
out.
He's miles out of there. He's the one with the hero Vandal, but also his form today hasn't been looking great. He's one death away from taking his cocktail shaken, not stirred. He's 0-6 and 0.
Oh, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. Refighting with a util, but This could be biting EG with a slow pace and tempo, yes. Been baiting KRU, but they've been playing slow themselves. There's 30 seconds left with a stack of bodies over towards A. Here's where you got to get a bit of a move on. That one's going all the way to Narnia. We're not going to be finding out where that one's going, but still with the salvos. Yeah, that's Shy. Pushed out into the open. And with these rifles in hand, I mean, listen, EG just winning these gunfights out still. Back at a sight. Danger player potentially, but only the classic. What can you really do? And it's not being cleared. Round to the corner. Needs to be a trade inside. Okay, this is getting messy. You can't be dropping rounds like this. Two players in through tree. There it is.
All good. I was all ready to praise EG because their teamwork, their spacing, it's slow, it's meticulous. They're taking angles, posting up on them together. Anytime a KRU player tries to face, they're into multiple people. And then we saw a little bit of a slip up towards the end of the round and maybe a bit worried.
One enemy remaining.
But yeah, we've got Superman is
I'm talking about Unk!
Superman is 12-0 right now.
Who's he calling Unk?
Kesnit 0-0-7.
One's been dealt with here. Kesnit out to Prowler in his face, and he's forced back from the fight again. Full mount control.
There's his first kill.
He's going to be going down.
Yeah, he could choose to actually invest the ultimate here, but has decided not to. So EG don't even want to accelerate in spots like this where they could be taking a 5v5 exec. They're just happy to play the 4v5 instead, save that ult for a better round. And KRU, up a player, a clean 5v4 scenario. They've got to be able to convert rounds like this. Melzer posted up on top of rubble.
Portal closed.
EG holding on to C mound. Looking like they want to go for an A rubble re-clear. Try and pull KRU players over towards A. At least push Melzer off his angle, so hoping that it's going to leave them lacking some information.
But any time that they go for that kind of play, Mazzino's got the fault line that just comes straight into A lobby. So they haven't actually been able to take that space. Regrouping, going for a C hit. Does Shy get the jump on this one? He's got the Vice ultimate if he can find the timing for it.
28 seconds, you're going into the setups, and Armageddon is going to be laid down on either side here with a nade rebounding, and that sees! Narrowly avoided. Shy sidesteps most of it. Danger averted, but still that horn towards your back. It's an overload of util. Kitchen sink being thrown at you, but time is of the essence, and it's on the side of KRU right now. Just need to hold and buy your time. Stand your ground down. Still the plant. Needs to be defended. EG players need to get into here. What a shot by Icy.
That's so important, that deny onto Adverso.
It's a round winner. Space as well to layer down this pit. To blight onto the C site. Get a move on though with the fault line, and Superman still holding it down. Highlights. Finding the adversaries. Melzer left to do it in a 1v3 with a pit in your face. Realization sinking in. You got to give this one up. And it was the best chance in a long while for KRU.
It certainly was. EG couldn't really capitalize on all of that utility that was flying into the face of Shy, but Shy also panicked, didn't know where they were coming from, could only get one out of that situation. If Adverso, as soon as Adverso realized that there was one player planting and one player inside the Viper's pit animation, he knew it was his timing to win a round, but he couldn't quite get it. Icy had a sick deny. This kill is everything.
It is.
But they've also just been holding each other's backs.
You need more Red Bulls, bro. You need another one? You need like a massage? Like.
When is Superman going to die?
It's 14-0.
When will they kill him?
It's 14-0. He can't be stopped right now. He's winning every single fight.
But he's
the
also
team's
just
offering to run waters for him.
Yeah.
Point line salvos. I mean, KRU going for the same game plan just to control A rubble early on, but hasn't been doing them a lot of good.
Shy takes a little bit of chip damage, just going for a jump peek. They're losing mount control.
Shadows traveling.
And then the round slips away from them as KRU either get baited into taking some kind of aggressive fight or just get executed on towards the end. And their site anchors haven't been able to do anything.
Toxins going up.
We'll re-clear, seeing this lineup. It's going to be landing towards the back of rubble. Leave it out or on towards the top. Melzer. There he is. He's vulnerable up with a nade. Oh, what is that?
He's been having a nightmare of a game, Melzer.
And it's picture perfect here, but it's okay. Yeah, Satchel sets up Icy for success.
Everything just looks like it's working exactly to the game plan up until Derek dies. But it's still a 4v3, still with better guns, and an entirety of the A site open to them.
Adverso, though, if he finds this individual 1v1, now I see he's got it locked down off the off angle. Doesn't anticipate that, though. It's perfectly timed by Shy.
Spike planted.
That's that kill for him, and out into the open again. Not unexpected. Yay, finally offloading and not dead yet. Gonna be looking for a kill now, and everybody just running all the way out of there. Stunned up, Mazzino claims Ye's life.
Buys time.
Up through the top angle, Superman finally falls, and you're giving away these ones now. Leaves it down to Nature in a 1v2. Steel Garden narrowly avoided slightest of gaps, but it makes it more predictable. So KRU gonna know roughly where he is to play in. There it is, Aftershock, lay it down. A few more bullets to finish it off. Second round finally there for KRU. That was on a half-by round. Mistakes from EG, really.
But also, excellent individual play from Mazzino. The kill onto Superman in particular, being aware that Superman could have taken all of that space in the midst of Ye's ultimate, and finally dealing the first death to this unkillable guy who's just been... I mean, that kill, again, huge one. Huge one. Not just because Superman was 14-0 prior to it. Finally found his kryptonite, and he's taken a first death. Is that going to halt some of the momentum for EG? KRU need a way back into this half.
Kesnet, hold on, he sidestepped that one. Drone's not going to be tagging. Bit of bullets going their way, and Prowler point in the direction does force out that gate crash.
The spam battle goes the way of KRU, actually. Icy took about 100 damage there, and if he was hoping to try to play for his showstopper in this round, it's going to be much easier for him to get spammed to death.
Oh, well, Kesnet's gone down anyway. Nature just taking turns, really, him and Superman, just to try and pop off here, but the door's open wide and no one's really looking for it! What is that?
The EG players are on fire today.
They are. They're not missing.
Mazzino's thinking about ripping a breach ult, is he? Into Mound.
Desperation.
In a 3v5.
It's desperation.
EG is so ready for it.
Yeah, they're holding you two. Look at this.
Look at the C's nade.
I
They
see
are
him.
holding the C's nade.
Propped up, waiting for some sort of response.
And Melzer feels forced to try to make a play on the other side of things. He's against Superman.
He adjusts his aim in time there. He was given the right timing, honestly, just by Superman peeking out the shoulder, but gets
One of the
kill.
first times that Melzer's actually been able to find some impact holding down the opposite side of the map. He's going to get tested again.
Yeah, certainly. Prowler he lays down the smoke, but you're going to be tipping out into the open, surely. Yeah, not long for the world.
EG have got to accelerate. They've only got 20 seconds left. They've got to get the plant down. Trying to hold angles for each other, knowing that KRU are going to try to make the play.
Mazzino has ult. Got to move on. You
gotta
have
go
to plant
faster.
this.
You've got to go faster
You
than
have
this.
to plant this. Nature, hold on. 7 seconds. Pushed off. 6 seconds. Finally back onto this one once more. Stun. Aftershock. Might be resulting into a bit of a kill. Sidestep for now. Surviving at a moment's notice. Pulling the util out of him. And Derek just handles Mazzino.
Pretty sure if he'd used the Aftershock there before the stun, changed up the order of that, might have been curtains. EG almost losing another round to the clock. But an almost impossible situation for Shy once more. Round 10. And it feels like saving the gun here is probably the better play. And that's devastating.
Yeah. Ice is going to want to go hunting here. One away from the ult. Searching out for where Shy could be hiding. You can hear it. Rumble of the footsteps finally. Reveals his position. The C's is good, but Shy a little bit better.
He might end up going down here. I think he should be safe.
Yeah, he's good.
He's well safe there. It's so rare that we see a map like this where multiple of the EG players are hitting, but they really are today. Look at that, Nature deletes Kesnet. And this shot is brilliant from Derek. You watch some of the shots that Derek has hit today, you'd think he's the one up towards the top of the scoreboard. He's not at all, he's 7-6 right now.
Yeah.
But everyone on EG has turned up. Superman 14-2, Nature 12-4. Icy's been pretty good at the entry too.
One of the questions I think we've always had as well, talking about this EG squad this year as well, is like, when is it going to come together? When is it going to be put together? We already know Potto's a coach, got the credentials, right? Got a title under your belt.
Yep.
We know that she can lead teams to success. And EG have never really been working with, you know, the prime pieces, the hottest commodities at the beginning of a season. They've definitely kind of asserted themselves, and they've got this aura as a bit of a ragtag team. But when the pieces click together, you never know with this EG team. The potential's always there, and they're hitting today. The firepower's all there, and for KRU, you can say the exact opposite. All the talk about the macro play, maybe KRU were operating a little bit too fast for how EG were playing. That's all well and good, but when it comes to the gunfights and how they're actually winning, and even when they are winning, getting first kills as well, KRU still aren't able to convert.
Yeah, and that's a big issue. I mean, you're not going to be winning games where Kesnit's 1-10 in round 11. You need this guy to be online. You need many of the KRU players to be online. And normally, firepower is something they never struggle with. But they have been facing into EG util, EG double, triple facing them. The awareness for EG has been so good today. And I think KRU haven't ever realized that they could just chill a little bit. And EG would be forced to run these big execs at the end of rounds. KRU are playing more for map control than information to try to flood defender. I think they just got the wrong read today. And it's led to them negatively spiraling. And it could lead to a real loss of confidence too.
There.
Look at this patience. EG, I mean, they haven't stepped past essentially where the barrier's dropped. Now making their moves over towards it, but KRU this entire time were holding down for the B main punish. Trap play off of Kesnit's contact.
And it's these period in the rounds where KRU would like to gain information, just in case EG go into an exec, but EG are always holding for like an extra 20
Doors
seconds.
open, trying to go for the refight now. And what is the protocol in line for EG to try and find their way through this one? It's all KRU dishing out the damage here. Still, not enough with the guns and not enough with the armor. And Melzer was seeking to assist, but I think just stopped and stunted by that util, and Superman cleans it up to the extremities.
It's not a comfortable fight, is it, from KRU in that kind of situation? Even when they got two, Kesnit got stuck on the other side of the wall.
25 seconds left. Armageddon doesn't exactly clear most of heaven. Icy even committing his own ult to try and get themselves into this one, but Shy spotted and deleted.
Spike planted.
Left onto Melzer. Round 11. Doesn't even have a gun to save. 3 and 8, 27 HP. And you've got to imagine the mood in the KRU camp is miserable right now, because every idea they've had has run up against the brick wall of EG. Another round where KRU feel forced to try to take a fight. And EG, even though they were slightly further forwards this time and not quite anticipating it as much, they still deal with the aggression.
What the hell has happened to this EG team in the break? In this 1 week that they've had since their last game?
I think they've just got a sick read on how KRU want to play. I really feel like they're just adding these like extra 20-second pauses in that are ruining KRU.
Yeah.
We'll have to see once the sides swap, because then KRU will be in charge of the tempo much more. The attacking team on Lotus defines a lot of the pace.
Half armors, Outlaw into the hands of Icy could do some serious work. Serious risks being taken as well across the board. I mean, KRU are challenging a Rubble, Mound Control. They're trying to fight over everything at once. Look at where these KRU players are, man. And it's a deep push, triple face. At least a double, I should say. Tripping me out with the clone. Looking like they wanted to try and punish Superman, but they don't step past it again.
You're really worried about EG just kind of contacting up against you. Here comes the ult for information from Kesnit.
Dimensional Drift is going to be telling them all stuff that they probably already know at this point here. Nightfall scatters forwards. See if Melzer can hold it down here in through mid. As Superman takes the challenge, wins the fight. Kesnit from behind. That's a 140 jobber and just cleans up in the end.
And those are two duels that again go the way of EG. 4 fights and they're winning them.
Nature taking that first point. Mazzino with the fault line has slowed them down to a degree, but there's that stun and there's that return again. Just sweeps in Superman to save the day. Discipline taking a fight together. EG are 10-2 on KRU's map pick.
And Superman's 2 kills in that round are like a microcosm of what he's been able to do the entire game.
Yeah.
17-3, almost untouchable. Deletes Adverso, comes back in, combines with the rest of the team to get another one. Off the back of what would have been a great stun from Derek, even had a chance to connect. Complete dominance today from EG. They believe they can do it, and I think other people watching are going to start to have that same belief now.
Oh, yeah. Going to be heading into the next half, of course, as well. And we'll see if EG can close it out. They have 3 chances to do so, but many, many rounds. Well, more than 3, I should say. They only need 3 rounds, buddy.
Oof. Stuck paying for that old phone? don't be. You know, at Verizon, we'll pay off your phone. And you'll get iPhone 16 on us. That's a value of up to $1,600, only on Verizon.
Well, 10-2 here for EG, and if that's going to tell you anything towards the tail end of that, it's never do maths on broadcast. And
Yeah,
that,
three chances.
Yep, more than 3 chances, I think.
An 8-round lead heading into the halftime. Now, everybody was expecting a one-sided series here. Everybody knew when you tuned in the half, the scoreline would be, 10-2, something like that. A crew, yeah.
Well, wait a minute.
I think they got the teams wrong.
Is the UI incorrect?
Yeah,
a refresh on that one, production.
This has been a mad game, a real wild beginning. Now, is there a chance that Crew could actually make a run back on the attack half? Yeah, I think there is. I think if they can get their feet underneath them with a pistol, there could be, fake or not, some kind of wild comeback, because so many of Crew's problems, I think, were based on how EG were playing the attack side.
You're selling me a bridge.
Well, I'm selling you it, and it might just crumble right beneath your feet if EG win the pistol. And then, whatever, we'll just move straight onto Pearl.
We'll see with a pistol, though. That's where it all has to begin. When you see that door in red, warning signs start blaring potentially here. And Kesnet has creeped all the way up. That's a great opener. Gate crash all the way back. First kill.
He's online. That's not what you want to see if EG are looking to close this out. Because Kesnet barely been online all day. But that was a very clean entry. He might hit the James Bond and the pie as part of this comeback.
That would be insane. We've never seen that before.
Not from Kesnet. Literally not from Kesnet.
So flash through to try and get yourself in. And just, yeah, the rumble of the footsteps. Stampede in through the back of the pit. That's Ye going to be overran. And, well, a paranoia, a few stray shots, backing away.
But look how much Crew are now in control of the tempo as soon as the sides have swapped. It's all them.
Yeah, it is. Full control, 2-player advantage as well. It's going to be the flash and the peak. And Kesnet dodges the pie watch and more. He's going for absolutely everything. Now, you've sold me that bridge.
Yep.
Seems like it may have been potentially a good investment. I'm waiting to see, honestly.
I know.
I need a few more rounds, but
this is why it is mad to try to sell you a comeback at a 10-2 half, and I wouldn't normally do it. I have more respect for you than that. But this game, from what we've seen from Crew in the past and the way that they like to play and how aggressive they are, there is a serious chance that they run this back on the attack side and at least make it close. Like, it could still be a bit of a fake comeback, but EG are going to have to dig deep to stop some kind of momentum here.
If that's a worst-case scenario for Crew, is that you just get your confidence back and start hitting shots.
Yeah, and just start to feel better headed towards Pearl. Absolutely.
You take it. Certainly going to be taking it, just like Kesnet's really just offering himself up to try and take these first engagements.
But I think also, straight from the pistol, you see that Kesnet is a player with a huge amount of experience because he's had an awful, awful defense side. And he's just shaking it off immediately. The way that he took the fights and the confidence that he had to get that 4K on the pistol was lovely.
Not worried. C's held here, waiting for it. That's a big connection, big nade, but they can tuck themselves around to the corner, and IC delivers it. That's a death blow. Straight to the head, straight to the dome. Kesnet going to be taken out here. Nature needs to be careful. He's not going to be caught out into the open. Scurrying towards the back of the side as that door opens up as well, so warning. Alarm bell is going to be ringing.
A lot of EG players here, but I wouldn't expect them to be playing a flood retake.
Well,
Then
he's
again,
been cut off, and he hasn't gone for the plan. He's worried about being pushed, potentially.
Nature's dived in.
He has. Maybe they've heard this one. Crew need a game plan to try and clear these players out through backside. But they are rooted in spot for now. EG just trying to play it a bit more disciplined, waiting for the salvos here, and it needs to be that peek and round to the side with the pistols in hand. Classics to try and do a lot of work here. There's a lot of damage done. Multitudes of players. Weaken up. Superman! My goodness!
He can't be stopped today! Take a look. The superhero that EG needs. 20 kills. And so much chip damage done over the course of that. The health was so minimal on Shy and Adverso towards the end.
Let's go!
And you can see what that means for them, because they have just halted the momentum instantly. Turns out I was selling you a rickety bridge.
You were.
Bridge to nowhere. Mazzino has decided to force. They are force buying, and look at the buy for Crew. I mean, of course they're force buying. They're down 3-11. But it's not pretty.
Now down to scraps.
And Icy is on the rotate with the Outlaw.
Now, Smike is in the hands of Shy, who's just sitting into B main alone here. There's a dimensional drift that was earned to prior. Kesnit sends it forwards. He's looking for players. He's just missed the timing, I think. Superman's avoided most of them, but they see two towards the back now. The door's opened up. They want to set the sights over towards B. This is a deep TP. That's Melza all the way in, through, and out into Link. No real control over this one as well, and Crew is still just trying to walk players in.
Walking into C.
They talk of timing, and well, it's just about missed there. Handled in time, and there's the follow-up. Two players dropped. Now Crew have to try and hold on to this one with just 3 remaining.
Did Adverso and Mazzino realise that the plant had gone down on B there?
It's all over the place. Genuinely is, with that door opened wide. Bit of worry here. Crew anchoring onto the one side of the smoke, clearing, partitioning up to the side. This is EG with all the discipline in the world, enough to just sail away. Up to 12 now for EG.
And the game is over. 9 opportunities to close out for EG. Crushing Crew's economy. This is remarkable, because, yeah, I thought there was a chance that EG might take their foot off the gas just slightly. Not a hope for Crew, actually.
One enemy remaining.
The confidence that EG are coming back in with here. Derek swings in, gets 3. Nature's got an Odin, by the way. He's going to be spamming at the beginning of this round. You might just see the Crew players melted before they can even get a foothold on Lotus. This was their map pick. They're down 3-12 to a team that needs a win to be able to make it to playoffs. Crew, what do they have, a 99.69% chance of making it?
Oh, there it is. It's a hail of bullets. As you said, Josh, listen, the percentages are sky high for Crew to just make it all the way here. I see. Out into the open. That's a crazy fast timing to be taken here. Mazzino, he is setting that pace all the way forwards here. Nature! He got 2! He gets 2 in the middle of that, and yay! He's instantly there onto the scene of the crime. Might even look to try and peek past this one as well, as that curtain's going to be dropping. Mazzino's handed it, but again, Superman from the side. These trades have been just impeccable in terms of that timing, and Shy. It's a 1v2. Spike's in your hands, but avenues covered. Smoke into your face. Finds the first. Garrick's going to be dropped into a 1v1. Superman. He has to be lights out. Plant out though. Shy. Got to do this to survive and buy a bit more time. Steady with a Guardian. Just taps away.
Red Bull clutch there for Shy. He's been in a lot of 1vx scenarios today. Wins one to keep the dream alive, but it is a fading dream. A wisp of an idea at this point. 8 chances for EG to close things. This round, they kind of lost the discipline that EG have been playing with all day. There was a lot of confidence, but it was a bit of overconfidence. They were just going for it. They thought, all right, this is it. We can just close it out right here. I don't blame them. They're up 12-3. They just want to make sure that they can end this real fast.
Yeah, they got 4 players just waiting to try and gear up, posture up, and take control, and take away the map. Showstopper rebound, Shy barely alive, but he's got to do it all in a spot he's going to be familiar with. But now being surrounded, it's a net that is tightening all the way around him, constricting, and Shy, your options running dry. Need a miracle with the way that EG are playing. Oh, Dawn's not broken, not deaded, but Icy! just topples him anyway. 13-4 for our opening map of this KRU EG game. Going the way of EG. I've never really seen anything like this, to be honest, in terms of expectations. You're seeing almost prime form. I'm talking Superman LCQ, Derek LCQ, Prime Yeaster. You're seeing everybody just frying today. Nature's pulling off miracles, man. This is a team with just fire in the belly right now, and they want to make it to playoffs.
Superman in particular deserves so much credit because he was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was doing such a great job, and the slow pace from EG baited KRU into a nightmare scenario. This is a team KRU that are fighting for #1 seed heading into playoffs, which would allow them a bye. They would be 1 win away from Toronto,